youngsters, do you box them right away when they're broken, or do you keep them as a kit?
Well, you'll find that they'll train themselves back into the kit box, and then I'll eventually break them off.
Yeah.
So I have flown birds out of a kit box.
Yeah, and what have been your times with them? Have you found them as good as when you fly them boxed up?
Well, young birds, yes. Old birds, no.
No, not old birds, but youngsters, yes.
Youngsters, I will.
Yeah. If you could alter this flying section, Jim, would you alter it, or am you happy with it?
Well, I've been happy with it for the last 18 years,
so
I'm happy as it is.
What we've been saying when we've been round the lofts, me and Ashley, there's always something you'd like to alter in your pen, like when you look at somebody else's pen.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of ideas today. There's only one thing I would do is just make the little kit boxes a bit bigger.
I'm with you. Well, I say this because when I was at your loft probably 2 or 3 months ago, or probably less than that, I saw something in your pen what I'm going to employ in my pen, and that is something to do with your dropper section being in the middle. I thought that's a good idea, and I shall implement that into my pen this winter.
Well, it saves the women moaning about taking the muck up the shed down it. I mean, if it's all open, you're treading in it all the while, so...
Can we look, we've talked about your birds, obviously, which you haven't got now, what did the 20 hours. Could we look at one of the descendants?
You can have a look at the ends off the one, and they've got cocks as well, direct out of 20 hours.
Could you fetch me a cock and I could have a look at it?
Definitely.
Or shall we go into the other section?
Well, I could show you an end in here.
Yeah, that's fine. Can we look at it? Yeah.
Let me just shut this without any escaping.
On this particular end, have you flooded, Jim?
There's an N in there. She's done 16 hours this year.
Yeah.
And last year she did over 17.
Yeah.
And all the descendants off the old cock, they're all their double figures.
Yeah.
So,
if we could just look at one of the ends. What are the main colours of your family, Jim? Do you find you've got a predominant colour, or
blues?
Mainly blues.
Mainly blues now. But I'll get the checkers, and then I get in a bit too regular just lately.
Would you find you get certain colours what your ends all the while, Jim, or does it really matter?
It don't really matter to me. I'll just fly whatever crops up, and you can just do the best you can with the colours that you get.
Yeah. This is one of the daughters.
Direct out the 20-hour cock.
What I love about these pigeons is they've got a beautiful leaden beak on them, and one of the shape. I mean, you look at that. I mean, that's a superb head, superb. And this is one of the ends, Jim.
Well,
and is in good nick. Again, the wing isn't a big wing, which I personally like. They're on the same. I like to think they're on the same lines as a Gordon used, to be quite honest. But yeah, these are a family of birds, and you won't see a better family than what we have here. And this is one. I know I can go back with Jimmy when he was in the Willenhall Club, and I think, was it 2 years you went, Jim, before you want to fly?
I was always fourth by a couple of minutes.
That's right, and that's dedication. And when he won a fly, he won the big one. He broke the long day record with 19, was it 19?
19 hours 10.
19 hours 10, and that stood for a few years, so that's dedication. And he's still here today after 18 years.
Still trying.
But that is a nice engine, that is. And this, I would say you'd like to think this is the breeding you like.
That is typical bird, typical head. Yeah. And I think if you look all through the loft, they should all look similar to that. Well, they should all look like that.
Superb pigeon. So I mean, you can put these birds with the Bowden birds, and probably
with the ewes.
And you could probably put them with the Colin Bristow's, but that head would always be there of that particular family. That's a credit to you, Jim. So we'll put her back there. Right, and if we can go and look at the
cocks.
The cocks, yes.
Well, this is typical now. That is coming up in the breed, and that only came through one pair. That was a silver cock.
Yes.
And a clay checker in.
And what is particular with this, Jim? The colouring?
The colouring now.
Yeah.
I'm getting quite a few of those
Dog checkers,
colours.
yeah, yeah.
Dog checkers.
And do you
you can
mind
see-
dog checkers or?
Well, I don't mind.
No,
They'll
as long as
still
they do the
fly.
business, yeah. Again, small wing look, small wing.
Well, that bird there is a cock bird, and that is an hen bird.
So you can see the difference there. I mean, if you look at the head on those, you would say it was vice versa. Again, you got the small beak look, the good red stare of the eye, which again, checkers, sign of the same family. And these related, Jim, these particular pair?
They're off nearly the same way bred, both cock and hen,
I'm with you.
but they're off different pairs.
I'm with you. And where would you say the white came from, Jim?
I like a little bit of white on
Yeah.
the rump, and I think that was typical going back to the blues.
I'm with you.
And I like a blue
Yeah,
with a white rump.
That's part of the family.
Yeah. That's
Good.
it.
So can we put that back in here?
Yeah.
Right, now can we look at the cocks? Yeah.
You want to go through?
Yeah, we'll go through.
Okay.
I think you a typical cross section of your cocks.
That's right.
And I believe that cock is out of the 20-hour bird.
That's out the 120-hour cock.
Yes. On the other one there, that
Is out the other
the light
20-hour cock.
checker is there.
And also that one there.
On that one there. So you've bred a lot around the 20-hour birds, Jimmy.
I had two good, well, the two cocks was good cocks. The other one wasn't so good. But I think although he'd done 20 hours,
Yeah. Did you hang on to them birds, Jim, or did you?
well, it's only been a fortnight ago when we lost the last 20-hour cock,
Yeah,
which was in the style of that one.
Yes. Yeah, what was
Same
it?
colouring,
Yeah.
and he lasted, what would it be, 83, it'd be his 14th year this year.
14th year. So what you're saying then, Jimmy, going back from when you first had them, you're looking at the same pigeon now.
Exactly, in my opinion, if you look at the Wolf Lovett record,
Yes.
that bird there is typical to the ones that are shown on the NT,
Yes.
on the diploma.
Well, can I say, Jim, when I went to Albert Hardson's a good many years ago, probably 15 years ago,
Yeah.
he got one of the world record kit there. And
Yes.
that particular pigeon used to be on a brick.
Yeah.
And if I remember right, it was a slightly dark checker than that one.
Correct. Yeah.
And I do remember that bird, and that was one of the original Wolf Lovetts.
Well, all these descend from that
From that
20-hour
particular
cock.
bird, yeah, yeah. Well, Jim, the family, it's a credit to you. And it's nice to see a Tippler man what just kept to his family. Because there's a lot introduced, and they cross and outcross, but you have kept with the breed, and I'd always recommend you with a love of bird, Jimmy. Anybody who wants lovets, these are the birds.
Well, I've always kept the best flying birds, or I've ever flew myself, I've kept in a stock and bred out of them myself. Most of them are 20 hours paired to 20 hours, or a young bird off that 20 hours paired on
Yes.
to the other 20 hours, and that's...
Do you find, Jim, as youngsters you like to dark them?
Well, I do, so long as the hawk leaves me alone.
Yeah, you have
And
problems
all
with the
big
hawk.
yeah.
It's funny, I was up north probably about 5-6 months ago, and they don't have hawk problem up there. Whether it's because they've got seagulls or what, I don't know. But I know probably you and Archie Guy, obviously, Ashley, we're all in this little radius of around 7 miles, and we do have hawk problems.
That's right.
But let's hope next year we're hawk free.
I do try to train the dog. Dog train young birds. But dust trained is good enough.
Yeah, you're happy with
Yeah.
that. You're happy with that.
As long as they come with the lights on at dusk.
Yeah. What type of training do you give them, Jim, in a week? In youngsters?
If them youngsters just coming on, for the first few weeks it'll be 3 times a week.
3 times of what, 3 or 4 hours?
Up to 6.
Yeah, up to 6. And
I
you're
like
happy
to
with
see that they can do 6 to 8.
And you're happy with that.
And I'm happy with that.
With old birds, Jimmy, what now the game? What you're talking about then?
Well, twice a week, 8 hours.
8 hours twice a week, which
Yeah.
is giving you, again, as you say, that's giving you 16 hours before, which is a build-up of around probably 3 or 4 weeks before.
That's right, before a competition.
Yes, I'm with you. Good, now can we just have a look at the droppers, Jim, and tell me how you work your droppers? What I like about this, Jim, is I've told you, I looked at it a couple of months ago and I thought I like that idea. And the idea I like it where you can walk past them like this and I'm not disturbed. And also it's nice to see the boxes where they don't fight. There's them contented.
There's 16 well-trained droppers.
Yeah. Do you fly them in the winter at all, Jimmy? Or
they'll be turned out once a day if possible.
Yeah.
If not,
Yeah.
they'll be out a couple of times in a week.
and you keep to about 16?
About 16
Yeah.
is plenty.
Yeah. And these work well for you?
Yeah, they're exceptional, them are.
Good.
What I do, I'll try not to overstock and leave them plenty of room.
Yeah, yeah. But obviously they have to work
They have to work
in
to
the
earn the
flying
call.
season. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So they're getting decent snap then now, Jim, at the moment.
At the moment, it's a rarity for them. Other than that, it's just what they play for. They have, and it'll only be barley all week.
Yeah.
At the moment, I love to see everything have a good malt.
Yeah. Right, Jim. I thank you for allowing us in your lofts,
Thank you.
and we'll go on now to see our next fire. Thank you, Jimmy.
Right, thanks, Vin.
Michael, this is Archie Guy. One of the birds you've had off Tex, which was the pure good news. Archie was the lad who supplied the cock. Tex had one, and I had one which is at home now, and we've had some superb youngsters off them. So it's thanks to Archie as you've had your pure good news, Michael. Right, Archie, how long have you been flying?
3 years.
3 years?
3 years.
Did you have some tumblers before that, or
I've had
as a youngster?
pigeons all my life.
Yeah. And then you decided to fly Tipplers, and obviously your first club was Old Hall, and you're secretary of that, I think, and then you joined Willenhall.
Yeah.
Can I ask you about, you've just built this lot, haven't you? It's the first time we've seen it on camera, isn't it, Archie?
That's right.
What size is it, Arch?
22 foot.
22, and how deep is it?
6 foot 8.
What I like about this lot, again going back to Mally guys, is the vents at the back. We've got a flow of air coming right through them. And also, Archie, I think you wanted this a good slope on your loft, because obviously you can stand there, isn't it? If you can just look here, look, you can just stand on here, isn't it, Arch?
Yeah.
And you can see the birds.
That's right.
So we can stand on here. You work off those 3 lights off the back.
That's right.
And then can you just show me how you work your trap? This trap is about probably 4 or 5, 6, about 5 foot by about 3 foot by about 5 foot high.
Yeah.
And it's just a simple thing of it's a pull out and then it's a slide back. So you've got no access on there, it's just a matter of just opening that. And then your birds will go through and you just close it.
Yeah.
And obviously it's a new trap. Haven't you flying birds used to that yet, or not?
Yeah,
not till-
I've had them out in that trap.
So they use them. These are some young droppers you've got.
Yeah, the money you got.
Them young swans, and hopefully if these will work, these are what you'll have next year.
Yeah.
As you can see round your Archie is closed in probably by houses, and do you get much problems with the adjoining properties?
No.
No. You find the birds come? No.
Yeah, they come.
And I will say where we stand here, we are at an high position.
Yeah.
And obviously we've just been to Jimmy's, who is, as a crow flies, what, 800 yards
Yeah,
away?
Yeah.
So, and you referee each other, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's quite close. when you first started, Archie, what birds did you start with when you went into?
Well, I had a mixture. So I had all different sorts. Loudons, lovets, Allen Crocuts.
Allen Crocuts, yes. We went to Mally's, and Mally's got some of Allen Crocuts. And can I ask you what birds you've got now?
Mostly young.
Yeah. So what you're saying, these are a young family you're just going to start up with, and hopefully carry on from there.
Yeah.
Do you dark your birds as youngsters, or do you dark them as old?
No, as old birds.
As old birds, you don't dark them as youngsters.
No.
Don't you think if you've got a good timing of around 14, 15 hours, as you're losing probably a couple of hours in dark, don't you? Does that
probably
bother you?
No, I don't bother me. I love birds really.
You just like to concentrate on old birds when they're dark. Youngsters just fly them in the daytime. Yeah, so you're quite happy to dark your birds in the winter.
Yeah.
Can we just go and look at your flyers? As I say, what I like about it, it's a nice shed. What's the height of that, Archie? Well,
it's 8 foot.
It's 8 foot at the back, coming down to 6'6". So there's a lot of room in it. And looking at your flying section now, you've used all the space to its full potential.
Yeah.
Can I ask you what you've got underneath? Just tills and that. Again, it's everybody you seem to talk to now. They like to work above the waistline rather than keep bending down, and you find that. Yeah. Right, shall we go inside, Archie, and then we'll look at some of your birds in your flying section. We can talk about the birds in there. The top lot, I like your boxes. I like this where the other bird can't see each other, which is a good thing, and then you've got a lot of room there to feed your birds, obviously. Are these stock birds at the top, or are these your flyers?
Some of the stock ends on the top.
These are your stock ends. Yeah. Can you tell me when you start to breed?
I should pair up about Christmas Day, I think.
About so you will breed early.
Yeah.
These birds here, these are kit boxes, I can see. What birds have we got in here?
There are 3 young cocks in there.
3 young cocks.
In there.
Are they stock birds again, or
no,
flyers?
those are flyers.
These are flyers. Again, when we was at Brian Davis's, I mentioned this type of perch, which is a good idea, and they're on grids, and I can see you adopted the same way. Brian's was smaller than that, but obviously for a kit box, they're a good. The perch don't move at all.
No.
Do you find you feed them first and then you water them after?
Yeah, feed them first and water.
And as you see, we've got the eye here, and we've got the flow going right to the back again. This particular section, as Archie has said, it's too low down to operate, so he keeps his spare things in there. I presume you keep your corn in there, Arch?
Yeah.
Is that your corn's kept
corn
in there?
Yeah.
Again, I like this shelf here. Do your birds come onto the shelf?
Yeah, that's right.
Right into the flight?
Yeah.
Or do you find the birds go in themselves?
They go straight in.
They go straight in. It's marvellous. Once they get used to it, they're in.
Yeah.
Again, you've got your first aid box there, which, again, that keeps your odds and sods to keep them fit.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, it's a good idea to put a shelf underneath. And I can see by looking at it, as the birds don't come on here, they must go right on here, and they must go right through.
Yeah.
And you've got your seed yards there. You've got lino here, so it's all round. It's, what would you say is the size of this arch? 12 foot?
13 foot.
13 foot?
Yeah.
So it's a good, and again we've got the kit boxes there on the end. So there's stacks of room in here. A good flying section. Now, can we just go and look at your breeding side? I presume you haven't finished your breeding side yet, because obviously you've only just constructed your loft.
Yeah.
these will be, obviously, these will be your breeding boxes when it's completed.
Yeah.
And you're looking at 12 pair. 12 pair again. We've got the height. What I like about it is it's a good slider on it. Again, we've got that flow of air through, and so this, hopefully this will be done, I presume, Christmas, March, and then it'll be ready. I presume you're going to put some fronts on those?
Oh yeah.
And then you'll have, I presume you'll breed off, what, 12 pair?
12 pair,
And have 3 rounds of youngsters, probably? Do you find you lose many youngsters, or...?
Well, they'll lose them breeding, they'll lose them flying them.
Yeah, just when you fly them, yeah, that's a common thing.
Yeah.
And from there, Arch, what have we in? Yeah, here, Arch, are these the...
These are stockcocks.
These are the stockcocks. Can we just open that arch and we can just... And these are your stockcocks.
Yeah.
Again, these birds look a family,
Yeah.
without a doubt. And we've got what there, we've got around what, 9, 10 stockcocks there. And what will this be used for the droppers?
This is the dropper ship.
I'm with you, but you're just putting them in until you've got them, till that's sorted. And you said you'd pair up January, Christmas, January, and then so you should have some youngsters ready to fly. Probably the end of February, probably.
Yep.
For your first round.
Hoping.
Hoping, yeah. We all hope. Anyway, Archie, many thanks for allowing us to look at your birds. And all the best for the coming season.
Right.
How's that? From you, Ashley, who is secretary of the Willenhall Tippler Club. Ashley, how long have you been secretary of Willenhall?
I started the job this year.
And where was you before then?
I was 1 year a member of the Willenhall Club,
Yes.
before becoming secretary, and prior to that I was a private member of the NT, flying as a novice for 2 years.
Well, I've got to say, when Ashley was flying as a novice, he did what is every Tippler flyer's ambition. As a private member, he won the Novice Cup, and it is a magnificent trophy. And did you feel very proud, Ashley, when you won that?
I did, yeah. I won that year as well. I won 2 sections NT year, and a runner-up to a couple of cups, the Ken Brown Cup, and runner-up in the young bird averages.
And I know, Ashley, that when you won the Novice Cup, you was isolated as far as flies were concerned, and you thought, which you thought right, you wanted to be involved in a club.
In a club, yeah.
And so you joined, what club did you join then?
I joined the Willenhall Club.
And then from there you become secretary.
Secretary this year.
And then, and what have you done this year, Ashley?
Well, when I first joined the club, the first year that I fled, after breaking my novice, I done 19 hours 19, which was my best Albert time, and that was the first time that I fled from morning into the dark, and I fled into the dark about 1 hour. So this year, in club-wise, I've won 2 first prizes,
2 first this
two
year.
first and 4 aggregates. That's this year.
And I know Ashley, like Jimmy Johnson, is a big lovett man. Can I ask you how long you've had your lovets?
Well, I had me lovets originally from Albert Arshaw, who I was introduced to by Cliff Clark.
Yes. Another ex-flyer, and he has just come back into the sport.
That's right, yeah. He's just come back into it. And I had the birds off Albert Arshaw. He sorted me a pair out at first, and then bred me 8 young birds, which started me off with Albert's strain, which derived from the lovets. Also, later to that, when Albert retired from the sport as such, he let me have another couple of pair which I started my family off up to date.
And you've still got your lovets now, have you? Put any introductions into the lovets?
No, what I've done, I've still got the original Albert's birds, and I've got original cock which I started off with, which was a bird off Cyril Miles, and then of yours, Ken, which I've got that cock now, come back after 8 years, which started me back into Tipplers again.
That bird, yes.
So I've got him as an original cock. He's an 85 pigeon now, but he's still filling his eggs.
Now, I know Ashley is very keen on the medication of pigeons, and I know for a fact he goes to Belgium a lot. Do you think we can learn a lesson from the medication of what the Belgians use?
Yeah, well, I believe in keeping my birds fit and healthy. So obviously incorporating to that is your medicines for actually keeping the birds in trim. So what I do individually is what you call blanket treat a pigeon, which I'll do for coccidiosis, which is the main disease, canker, salmonella, and I'll blanket treat for these diseases, obviously worms, just to make sure that in my own mind I know the pigeons are free from disease, and then I can start working with my pigeons then. So obviously hygiene's an eye factor.
Yeah. Can I ask you, on interbreeding, do you breed close?
Well, I'm just getting into the breeding. I've sorted out me flying and me feeding,
Yes.
but I'm just going into breeding this year as in depth. So I shall be reading up on the breeding part of it. But as yet, I actually got any breeding plan that I could, you know.
Yeah. But do you think as the sport in general would be better off if the flyers thought more about medication as you think about it?
Well, I believe if you've got good husbandry, or you've got a system that can keep your pigeons clean and free from soil food or soil perches, then that's obviously an advantage. But the actual blanket treatment of the birds with antibiotics and various aids to their health, I think can only be an advantage, as long as you don't overdo it as such.
Would you, I know you go into breeding, would you go brothers or sister, or father to daughter? Would you take them that close?
Well, I should be looking at half brother to half sister pairings and actually line breeding from an original stud cock. At the moment, so I've got 12 stud cocks, which are, and obviously the ends to go with them, and I shall be breeding into that family. But I haven't actually introduced any new blood as such into my family. Obviously I've only been doing it for 4 years, so there's plenty of time to go yet.
Can I ask you if you dog your youngsters?
I dog train youngsters, yeah. I haven't fled the old day yet and into dog with the youngsters, but I do train them just in case I have a good fly and the weather conditions and all that. When
you wean your youngsters, do you wean them as a kit, or do you box them individual, or do you put them in your flight?
Well, with the youngsters, after weaning, I shall put them into kit boxes. I normally have a round of 7 to 10 birds, which I'll put into 2 kit boxes. From the kit boxes, then I'll train them into a trap such as this one.
Yes.
However, when them just parted off, 3 weeks old, I shall put them on the loft top or on the drop board without the trap, so that they can have a good look round and get the bearings.
Do you, can I ask you, on the week before the previous week before you loose them out, can I ask you if you, how long you keep the food off them, or do you keep the water off them? Do you leave them in the flight all day and night?
When I'm breaking in, I'll drop the food for at least 4 days to allow low protein, low carbohydrate diet. I'll probably use a poor quality barley to bring the condition right down before I have them out, and make sure them keen and wanting food. The day before I shall take the water away altogether, so them at least 24 hours without a drink, and then I shall have them back out onto the loft top it's in their hands then. So.
And doing all that preparation, Ashley, do you still find you lose many youngsters?
I do, yeah. I bred 70 this year, and out of the 70, I think I've kept about 24 youngsters.
So you've had a 2/3 loss of youngsters.
I've had a heavy loss. Yeah.
But you still feel that is the way to break them?
I still feel that's the way to break them. I think